right. Hey, gentlemen, how are you?
Doing good, Rhonda.
All right.
Oh, be happy. Be happy. This is actually working. We now to be honest, I was trying to do this earlier, and I abused these people for about 40 minutes, and with no real benefit. No benefit. So I think we've got it all bugged out, and what we're going to do is to go ahead and Tommy, you're first up. Go ahead and talk about why you're running and what you'd like to talk
Well,
about today.
okay. The reason I'm running is I'm the only candidate for commissioner that brings real hope for change for Washington County. A departure from the 1980s practice of tax and spend to a true and honest growth program, an economic program that won't burden the people with debt, but instead will help pay it off. The two things that I will be, well, actually, three things that I will be talking about today is one is our debt level, two is our poverty rate, and third, and probably the most important, is why you, the people of Washington County, do not have a voice within your county government.
All right. And Max Greene, who's my husband, is running for Washington County Sheriff. And go ahead and just say why you're running.
I'm Max Greene. I'm running for sheriff, and I think we need to get back trust and credibility to the sheriff's department. We had this facility built on the basis that we was going to rent out the beds to generate revenue for the county, and that's happened at a moderate level, but they've done quit doing that altogether, and we need to get back to the basics. We also had sexcapades and Abu Graves, as I call it, but we had a jailer having sex with the inmate, and we've had another tort claim against the county where they're suing the county based on having his teeth busted against the bed rail and drugged down the hall naked. And we need body cams on these people the whole time we're having actions with their community. Not only for the sake of the community, but for the sake of the jailers and the officers. And it's vital we do this and have a third party control of the video. We need to start renting them beds back out. We need to rebuild public trust, and that's pretty much what my grounds is for running the sheriff.
That's awesome, and that's kind of the same reason I'm running as county council. I'm just tired of us hemorrhaging money and not being effective and actually abusing our community, and it's just not right. So let's go on to let's go back to you, Tommy.
Okay.
And you said that the poverty level has risen.
Yes, it has, Rhonda. When I first launched this campaign, poverty level for adults was 12.1. Currently, according to a reputable source, the poverty level for adults is now 13.4. When I started this campaign, the poverty level for 18 and under. Now, anybody that doesn't realize what that means, that's your kids, guys. That's the future of the county. 18%. That is up from 17.7 when I started this campaign. So, if that kind of tells you where we're going, um, it's really disheartening. We've got to have our kids invested within this county, or there's not going to be a Washington County. It's going to become one of those deserted places on a map that nobody goes to because there's nothing there.
Well, and it is a truth or a symptom. Poverty is a symptom of a government that doesn't work. And if we have a high level of corruption, you can't and don't hold government officials in check and responsible, then everything just goes haywire. Am I correct?
You're exactly right, Rhonda. And unfortunately, county government, I hate to say it, they're out of control. This is this is a perfect example right here in Washington County of voters. One, I hate to say it, but some of them are not informed. Two, they are rewarding bad behavior with extra term limits, and that you cannot provide a stable economy. Two, you cannot have a successful county base and community with those kind of actions. It doesn't work.
Well, and that's the thing. Is bringing up the tort claims in the jail. Now, the jail, when it was built for profit, wasn't it, Max?
Well, they said it was going to generate a lot of revenue. That's what Roger Newland ran on when he ran 8 years ago. That's what they'd passed it off as, why they added extra beds for the facility. And they said whether it could pay for itself or not, it was intended to generate a lot of revenue to come back into the county coffers to offset, so taxes wouldn't be going up. And you just look at what the taxes are going up. What they're proposing this year is an $800,000 increase in the budget over last year. Whether they get that or not, that's kind of up to the state. But the problem is that jail was supposed to generate revenue, and it did somewhat. It would, if you look back to 2015, 289,000, 275,000, 268,000, 588,000 in 2018. Then in 2019, when Miller took over, it generated $786,000 of revenue. This was mostly Harrison County people and the Department of Corrections money sent into this county. And in 2020, and it went down to 323,000. 2021 down to 249,000, and year to date it's only 38,000. That's almost $450,000 in 2020. 500,000 lost in 2021, and we're headed down that track again in 2022. You add up those last 3 years, almost $1.5 million to make up for that $800,000 shortfall that they're wanting to raise taxes this year. I'd say the jail should have been used for what it was intended, what the county taxpayers paid for, and what we need to have. But in order to do that, because we've lost trust in the community and other communities for what we've been doing in here, we're going to have body cams. We're going to have a third party controlling the video. We're going to have to lock down that facility every time a camera goes down, because we can't afford to be having more lawsuits like going on now. And just look at it happens in all the counties around. You can look down, and that's no excuse. You look down at Clark County right now. They had a sexcapade in 2017. They arrested a jailer. He got prosecuted in 2019. 2022, they had another jailer give the keys to a male inmate, and he went to the women's part of the jail and raped two female inmates. No kid deserves to be raped just because he got picked up for having one joint of marijuana or a speeding ticket. For whatever reason they were incarcerated, that's not a viable penalty for what they done. And unless somebody breaks down and they say, well, we reviewed our video to see what was happening. If you had body cam on and required that camera goes off, you lose your job, there wouldn't be none of this stupid stuff. It would all be taken care of. We'd have trust back in the community. We wouldn't have the officers on the street putting in extra danger because people think of, hey, I either fight one here on the street or I got to take on 3 when I get in that facility. We can't have that kind of stuff going on anymore. It's got to be straightened up, and it's got to be straightened up now, and you got to do it with the new administration, because you can't do it with the same people who know the same guys. And well, that's Bob. I can't say nothing to Bob because I came through the ranks with him. You have to have an iron fist on this to give credibility back to the county.
Well, and let's go back. The example you brought forward was Clark County, where the jailer had given a male inmate the keys. So that wasn't us, although we have had sexcapades in our own jail, as well as a death.
But it goes down that path because no corrective action's ever taken. They went, oh, we got rid of that one bad apple and it's all over with now, and we don't have to hold these other guys accountable, and we don't have to, if I worked in the facility, I would want to have body cam so I could prove, hey, I'm doing everything right 100% of the time, and not every time something comes up, well, the camera was down, or, oh, well, that's just the way it is, and that's not the way it is. It has to be treated like it's a real facility, and these are not mud people. These are real U.S. citizens. We got to treat them with dignity and respect. Even when they are wrong, they're there to be corrected, not penalized and beaten on.
That's true. That's true. And it sounds like a lot of money for body cams, but that's a drop in the bucket compared to all the
compared to the lawsuits and the lack of revenue we're getting now, because maybe nobody wants to trust us. From going from 786,000 down to 38,000 in the year to date so far, that's a pretty big drop.
Well,
and our taxpayers are having to pay for their indiscretions.
Yes, and the thing of it is, he's
financially and through credibility.
Right, because it's moral degradation. It's I don't want anyone to get hurt, and I don't really want my tax money to going to hurting people. But the thing of it is too, and it sounds like how do I put this? The jail has had 100 beds empty at any one time, right? And so the numbers that you put out there were just actual numbers from the prison or jail. The numbers should really be
numbers. It wasn't at full capacity when it brought in that kind of revenue.
No.
It could do better than that.
It can do a lot better.
And I think it's owed to the taxpayers that it do better. And as far as you can have nuisance lawsuits and you can have it, but the body cams take care of all of that. You can prove 100% our people acted appropriately every step of the way. And when you have deaths in the jail, look at Lawrence County, 4 suicides in the last year. That's pretty shaky. And they always, we don't have video, we don't have no proof. But we're totally above board, but we just can't show nothing. That's what these video systems are for, and that's why a third party keeps control of it. And you can absolutely prove no shady shaking was done on by any of our staff. We were doing the rounds we were supposed to be making. We did everything we were supposed to do. It's just one unavoidable thing. But once you start putting doubt in people's minds that it's not above board, because we don't have to account to you anymore. We don't have to explain anything to you anymore. You've crossed the line that can't be recrossed.
Well, see, and that's the thing. The number should be like maybe $1 to $2 million a year instead of 700,000 to 250,000, and that's why we have to raise, or that's why the excuse is that they're going to raise taxes. Now, Tommy, your opponent is, oh, God bless his little heart. He has problems, doesn't he? And not just me. Not just me. And he's interesting, right? Go ahead and say what's the difference between you two?
Well, right off the bat, the big difference between me and my opponent is Rhonda, I encourage dialogue with the people. If you look at the Constitution of this republic, the Constitution of the state of Indiana, it's all based around the people. I have told people this before, and I'm gonna reiterate it here. In 2018, myself, Rhonda, Max, and David Norton was all 4 present at the property tax public hearing. They publicly told us straight up, well, you can ask questions, but this board wants no dialogue with people.
Yeah.
No dialogue with the people.
Well, they just wanted to raise taxes. Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's wrong, because it's stated in our founding documents that it's a government for the people, by the people, of the people. Negating people's right to have dialogue, that's basic. Why would you do that? The other thing that my opponent seems that him and the rest of them want to do is they don't want people at public meetings. And I'm sorry, here again, this is a big difference we have. If I'm elected commissioner and there's $400,000 to be spent, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, I won't vote for it until it goes to a public meeting. The public needs to know. That's why I said in the start of this video, The people of Washington County have no voice in county government. None, because they don't allow it.
Well, and I'm gonna. You went to the Salem meeting last night, Salem City meeting. I know that you've been hesitant, and it's hard especially when you're campaigning, to reach everybody. And you were hesitant, but you just, by golly, I'm going to go. These are my people too. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am. You know, I had a very good meeting this morning with Mayor Justin Greene. I'd like to thank him and the wonderful staff up there at City Hall. Justin and I, we stepped to the side. We had about a 15-20 minute meeting, and you know, it was very refreshing. It was good to know that, you know, the city, you know, they want to be a part of things. You know, that it's not it. There's been this mystique within this county for some time now that city and county government have this understanding. Well, you play in your sandbox, I'm going to play in mine, but let's not intermingle. I found out this morning that there has been numerous invites to both the county council rep that covers Salem and my opponent to attend county or city council meetings. They never go. And should I be elected to office, you know, that is one thing that I believe we should be doing. We should be attending city meetings and county meetings, not because we're looking to pass some personal agenda or start a problem. No, it's called support. It's called having a sense of community. And I'm sorry, right now, most of the county elected officials, I wonder about their sense of community, because when you have a mayor that is bending over backwards trying to resolve, you know, these issues, the resolution can't be one-sided.
Well, and that's the thing. The election is set up so that you go out and talk with everybody, right? And you're going to ask for their vote, but the other part of it is you listen and you try to figure out what they're experiencing, your neighbors are experiencing, and their kids and their parents and all of that. And that's part of what the election process is. And you're a talker, Tommy. You're a talker and you're a listener and you have fun at it. I'm a little more of a shut-in. And I enjoy my computer and stuff like that. And it doesn't mean that I care any less. But I do go ahead and videotape the meetings now. I actually left my job to go ahead and do this and be at home and work on my business and help develop business maybe in this community. Because I do feel very much so that our economy is changing, and a lot of businesses, a lot of people are going to have a real hard time trying to catch up. And like, once again, when you have a heavily corrupt situation like we do with our county government, it gets worse. It doesn't get better when stress is put on them. You know, just like having the man have his teeth busted against a bar and dragged through the hallway naked in our jail. That's a problem, and that's an emotional and mental problem that needs to be addressed, and they're not addressing it. So what do you think? What do you think, Max?
Well, I think, you know, and just like the lawsuit thing, it's like any of the rest of them, and just like the Clark County stuff, it's not been adjudicated yet. But I mean, you know, you can't pass sentence on somebody arbitrarily before they go in front of a judge, and a judge can't sentence the people to the kind of stuff they've been claiming to be exposed to. So I mean, it's all public trust, and it needs to be straightened up, and we got to work at it as a positive thing. I think we lost the opportunity, or we've missed the opportunity. Hopefully we can get it back to have the best trained, best equipped, best paid jail staff in the state of Indiana, and to have a model for all the surrounding counties to work after.
Yes.
And right now we have an opportunity coming up. Lawrence County is at the verge of having to spend $40 million on a jail because the prices have went up and stuff. And I think if we approach them, we could get part of their people over here to get their burden load rate down to where they don't have to build a jail this year or next year even, while the prices are up and why they're under the gun. That's what happened with us. We got forced into, we have to do something now. We have to do something now. And we thought we was making the right decision and let's go oversize and rent out them beds, but that's not been happening. But we have to have credibility in order to do that. And another issue I have is veterans' rights. Veterans' rights to a job, more specifically. This falls into all of the Libertarians running for office, especially. You got the commissioners and the council. None of them's ever said that, hey, you know, the federal government gives preferential hiring treatment to veterans. The state of Indiana gives preferential hiring treatment to veterans. Washington County won't even allow a veteran with over 20 years experience who applies for a job to get an interview. I mean, and now they're asking for more money for more jobs, and I think it's time we sit down and as the council and the commissioners to do the right thing and say, no, we cannot in good conscience allow these department heads to have money for more people when they refuse to even interview a veteran, especially with the kind of experience they have out there. Yeah. And that's just the way I feel that you may not have to hire them or you may not have to give them preferential treatment in hiring, but they need to come to a point you're not going to be discriminated against because you're a veteran.
Yeah, and that's something we have proof of.
Line. And
we have actual proof. It's not just, ooh, that's, you know.
Yeah, this is proof, and they actually sent it to the state of Indiana. So, you know, so the county did. So anyway, what it comes down to, there's no reason that the sitting council people at this budget cycle can't say interview veterans or don't get the money. There's no reason the sitting commissioners can't say me too, interview veterans or you don't get no money. But it's not going to happen. And that's the thing. If you can't even step out for something that's right in everybody's eyes, how do you got to say you're standing up for the taxpayers on any other issue?
Well, see, and that's the thing, Tommy. I'm going to let you close this out here. And but yeah, I mean, if you're a commissioner, you know, interview those veterans, right?
You're exactly right. You know, should I be elected, believe me, the treatment of veterans is going to improve. One last thing I will interject here. Anybody in Washington County, July 19th starts the budget hearings, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. I do believe it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and is it Friday too, Rhonda?
I'm not sure. But the thing of it is you can download the budget from Indiana Proud, the front page. IndianaProud.com. Yes.
You know, my thing is, as a commissioner candidate, is I believe the people have a right to attend, they have a right to know, and they have a right to ask questions and have dialogue. If we don't have that, then we've got serious problems with our form of government, and it's high time we change it.
All right. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and end this first time of doing this, and thank you so much.
Let me step in one more time. For all those Democrats out there who don't have a candidate running for the council or commissioner position this year, I know you have candidates for the sheriff, and I'm not asking you to give up your Democratic vote for sheriff. And I'm not asking you to give up your Democratic vote for your higher offices. I'm saying don't throw your vote away when you have no candidate, when you're better off split your ticket and voting against the Republican rather than saying Democrat all the way, because the only way you're going to get them out of office, the Republican rule, is you're going to have to weaken them enough that you get your own candidates to step forward and pick up the charge next time around. But anyway, we've got the 3 good people on the ballot this year, two for council and 1 for commissioners, that could really use your support to say, we're tired of what we're getting, we're tired of what we're seeing, and if you'll just split your ticket to take care of the local level, because the local's important too. You can go ahead and vote your conscience and your feelings on your upper level, where your vote will make a difference there as well. But just remember that vote goes nowhere if you have no candidate in the race. Please consider breaking your ticket this year.
All right. And one last word from you, Tommy.
Well, come November 8th, Washington County, you got the chance. We're here. Let's make change.
All right. That's good enough for the first time. We're hopefully going to be doing this once a week. And thank you, gentlemen. And thank you for listening. This is Rhonda Greene of That Green Woman. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your consideration. And all matter is considered innocent until adjudicated by the court of law. We're pending, and the lawsuits are in works and pending, and we just need to do something about it. But it's got to be done in a legal manner, not vigilante style, or nobody's looking. We can get away with what we want.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.